Another week, another dollar again. Ratchet Report, episode, I think 9 already. We're back for another one. Justin, I mean, what a phenomenal end to a great weekend of Panthers hockey. We're back with you here on another Monday night, filming this one. I'm your host, Jeremy. Of course, Justin here again. Thank you. Shout out to Heat versus the World production. Of course, Joel also here with us right now. But so thank you for everyone. But we're here for another episode. Justin, great to be back here. Obviously, you can see I'm in Milan right now.
Yeah, how's the construction going? I'm supposed to be over there with you in Milan, but all these delayed flights, it's been really foggy here in Atlanta, and they've been grounding all the planes. So, I'm don't worry, I will be there as soon as I can to help
You
you
know,
get to this arena.
I mean, as you can see, I mean, it's just not. We need it. We still need some help. I mean, they're already leaking to the public that the ice is going to be shorter than it should be. Like we need as much help as I can get over here. I mean, I already got it to this to look at this. I mean, we need a little bit more help. I'm by myself. I already lost my construction hat. I'm
Yeah,
not
I was
allowed
about to say,
on.
where is your construction hat, bro? Like,
I lost my hard hat.
did
They
you sit it down eating some pizza or something? Like, how long was your break?
yeah, I lost it. It got stolen, I think. Um, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how that happened. I think I just misplaced it, but I don't have it with me, so I'm currently ordering another one off Amazon. I think it's supposed to be here soon. But
You know what? You might have misplaced it. Like you guys misplaced about 3 or 4 feet of the rink, from regulation size. So
that was actually not me. I do not want that to let the record show that was not my idea. I am not the one who is. I know I have poor mathematics and judgment skills, but I should not be the one placed at the helm of blame for the. So when when the NHL players get here and they
I
see how
see.
the when they see how they can't go a single foot without skating into someone, just know that that was not my idea, and Milan just wants a really chaotic hockey game.
They do, and hopefully we can just get hockey in general. But just know Italian OSHA will be on your behind if you don't find that hard hat. But you know, much like you guys are hard at work, and hopefully I'll be joining you soon. The Panthers have been hard at work trying to get, trying to find a return to form, so to speak. And for you good noodles out there who watched our last podcast, you remember me and Jeremy talked about how the Panthers are very resilient. They've gone through early season slumps like this before. It literally happened last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that. And they have been able to find momentum to find their way out of it. You just got to give them time to find balance in the lines and things of that nature. So they followed that up with another loss to the Maple Leafs, 4-1 Toronto win. The lone goal for the Panthers scored by who else but Sam Reinhart. A shorthanded goal, by the way. That was very nice. Assisted by Anton Lundell in the second period, which provided a spark that we desperately needed. But, even after Bobrovsky made some really, really solid stops, after giving up those early goals, um, he made 26 saves on 30 shots, but Toronto scored twice in the first period, and we struggled to generate consistent offense thereafter, even after the spark of Reinhardt's shorthanded goal. And that was a really disappointing and frustrating loss because, you're just looking for something to go right, and not much went right in that game. That was our fourth game in a row we've lost at home to that point. And it was a game that really highlighted our struggles with a depleted lineup and slow starts. We have to stop starting out slow. We have to get our skates up under us and put our best skate forward. And we got to go out and not only score first, but hold on to leads. And speaking of hold on to leads, that brings us to the overtime loss against Nashville right after that. 2-1 in overtime. Dreaded Steven Stamkos. I did not like you on the Lightning. I don't like you on the Predators. Why did you have to do this to us? But we'll go back to you, Mr. Steven. But Carter Brady scored for Florida. You know, Ryan O'Reilly tied it in the third for Nashville, and we should have had 2 points. It should have been a regulation win, but like I said before, not being able to hold on to a lead when you have it, you allow a late third period goal to tie the game, and then you lose in overtime with the net off the hinges, the net's dislodged, and Stamkos shot it in anyway. They called it a good goal on the ice. They went to review it, and they upheld the call. And that was that's just brutal to have your 5th straight loss at home. That's the low point in the homestand for us. And Bob making 27 saves, but it was Jeremy. Did you were you able to catch the entire game against Nashville? What were your thoughts?
I missed a little bit of the third period, but I mean, overall, my thoughts during the game were pretty positive. I felt like this was actually a much smoother game the Panthers have played compared to the past efforts against Toronto. I felt like in some of those games, when you look at it, like the one against Calgary, where you had a lot of chances, but you couldn't keep the puck out of your own net. You couldn't keep the puck in the other team's net. You couldn't keep it. You couldn't get the bounces to go your way. I felt like this was a game where, again, the bounces were going our way. I felt like we got goalie pretty heavy, but most importantly, I felt like our team played a really smooth game, but we just could not get that last point. It felt like we just could not get that last shot to just go. We just couldn't get one to fall for us at the last second. You of course you have an unfortunate goal. Bob Laus, he had a great game. That was a great rebound game for Bob after the entire the beginning to Toronto, which again Toronto honestly was a lot better of a game for Bob as well. Again, just if he outside of those first 2 goals from the first 5 minutes of the game, if you don't pay attention to that, it's another much smoother game for Bob. But great rebound game for him. And then you just can't get the offense to you. It's rolling against Nashville. You're drawing a lot of penalties. You have so much time spent in your end. You're tiring them out. So many opportunities in general, just could not get one to go for you, and you lose in overtime to, it's an unfortunate play, but I mean he's not even the puck isn't even going to Stamkos there. Like realistically, the puck's not going to Stamkos if the shot is originally not blocked. And it was, and Stamkos ends up getting the shot. Unfortunate, but you move on from that, and that's what the Panthers did, because that was a game that really, I feel like Columbus is a game that really make or breaks you, especially after a loss like that takes the wind out of your sails, where you finally get a game to go to overtime, and you have 2 points staring at you right in the face against a team that's below average. You drop that game instead. You go to another game that is probably below average. You are immediately down 4-1 in the second period, it feels like. And we really turned around.
We did get a point, which we did mention in our last episode is necessary. Every point matters at this point. And, we did get a point, so we can take solace in that, but should have been 2. Should have been 2. But I will take 1 point over no points, any day of the week at this point. A lot of points. But hey, question. So we had 4 games since our last podcast, right? That third game against Columbus, what date was that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't? I mean, do you have a calendar by any chance? Is there a calendar near?
Nope.
Well, let me enlighten you, Jeremy. That was on December 6th, And then we
Oh,
played
was it?
another game on Sunday yesterday that happened to be on December 7th. So, ladies and gentlemen, 6-7 weekend, baby. 6-7 weekend as the Panthers not only get an impossible 6-7 overtime victory
Sorry,
against
sir. I don't know
the
what you're talking
Columbus Blue
about.
Jackets.
There's a lot of construction going on in the
Hey,
background.
tell them to go to lunch.
I
Tell
can't
them to
hear
go to
anything.
lunch. Not during the 6-7 glorious weekend. No, we will do this right. Okay, listen.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of construction going on in the background. I just can't hear you.
It's okay. Our lovely audience can hear me crystal clear. So 6-7, the overtime victory against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Evan Rodriguez scores. Seth Jones scores. Brad Marchand scores. Anton Lundell scores. Glory to Finland. Carter Verhaeghe with 2 goals. New dad. And also the father of the entire NHL. And the Lorax Sam Bennett, who speaks for the trees, with the overtime winner. An absolute cluster bleep of a game. Probably the game of the year so far.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, ignoring all the antics that you just had to go ahead and go through, and
I
of
just
course
mentioned
ignoring
the
the
dates. I don't know what you're talking about.
41, 4-1. If you go ahead and ignore all the antics, I mean, that is by far the game of the year for the Panthers. That is the best game they've probably played. I mean, that was a game that was Panthers hockey. That was a game where you looked like you were out of it so many times. 4-1. You give 3 straight goals in a matter of a few minutes. The wind clear out of your sails. You're not getting anything going on offense. It's looking really rough for you, and you turn it around in a matter of an instant. Score 3 straight goals. Wipe that deficit out right off the way. Immediately have a momentum again. Lose said momentum. Go down by 2 more goals in the third period. Time is running out. Marchand, a great goal, keeps it going, and then you go ahead and you just get one more. Lundell ties the game with about 6 minutes left in the game. Goes ahead, ties it up. Go to overtime. You again give up a power play. It is looking very bleak. You look out of it again. I mean, whenever you go into you have to go on a penalty kill in overtime. It just feels like a death wish right there. It
It
doesn't. It
does.
feels like game right there, and you play a great penalty kill. Bob does great. Doesn't allow anything. Panthers instead make some chances themselves. You kill it off. Immediately, Bob makes another great save. Werenski misses a shot, goes down the other end, and you find a wide open Sam Bennett on a breakaway, puts it home. Panthers win 7-6
You
for
mean
game
6-7?
one.
They win 6-7
Stop.
in the dying seconds of overtime. By the way, pretty much a
3
buzzer.
seconds to go.
Oh
I mean,
my goodness!
it was a game destined for the shootout. It was destined for the shootout.
I
Great
was like,
pass to
just
find
get to the
Bennett.
shootout, just get to the shootout, and then we have a chance. And they're like, nope, let's win it now.
Yes, I was saying I specifically said to my family as I'm watching this game. Like, I mean, it's tied 6-6. It is a game where you're on the penalty kill for another minute and a half, and I'm looking at them like you have to somehow find a way to burn this and then go to overtime to go to shootout because by the time you burn this penalty, you're gonna have to somehow still go another minute or so plus, most likely 3-on-3 or 4-on-4, depending on how that goes, and you're gonna have to somehow find a way to not get completely gassed, and you have to find a way to get the puck out of your own end and burn some time because there's just no way you're gonna have the energy that you're going to now because you're gonna be stuck in your own end forever. Feels like.
Yeah,
And they played it phenomenally. They played it perfectly. They create chances themselves, and you get the game winner with 3 seconds to go. Sam Bennett, a goal that he really needed.
absolutely, absolutely. We've been looking for that Benny goal for a while now, and he's been looking for it for a while. And I think that it's going to be the catalyst to get him back to form as well. So
I feel like he's been really turning a corner over the past few weeks. I feel like he's been significantly more involved in the play. I feel like he hasn't had the costly turnovers and errors that he was having in the first first few weeks of the season. He's looked significantly improved, I'd say. This is the Bennett that we've come to know and love,
yes,
and he's back, and that was an important game for him. Great game winner, great pass to go ahead and set him up, and you move on to last night's game against New York, the the latter of the final game of the 6-7 weekend.
mm-hmm. So if we won 6-7 on Saturday, what was the final score of Sunday's game, Jeremy?
I'm not doing the emote, but I will say it was 4-1.
4-1. I love the NHL script writers. You can't make this up, man. This is unbelievable. So, after a wacky, zany game against Columbus, we get back to real Panthers hockey and just an absolute dominating win against the New York Islanders. Yeah, you Long Island bums, get out of here. This is what we do.
They
4-1.
just didn't the entire game. It almost felt like a playoff game. I can't even lie. It kind of felt like a playoff game because that was Panthers hockey. That is what they play. That was a game where you could have shown me the highlights of that from like a year earlier, and I'm like That's from a fully healthy team from like a year ago. Like that
Right.
team, they suffocated New York all game long. They didn't allow them to get any chances. Good night from Tarasov overall. I mean, there was the one goal that went in. Whatever, doesn't matter. Panthers had chances. Even then, there weren't many, and it just felt like a game where I was like, yeah, this is a game where it was very defensive. It felt like the Panthers were getting the better of their opportunities. They felt like they dominated, they controlled the puck. They weren't allowing any time really spent in their own end. That was a game that was really dominant from the Florida Panthers, and that was again, you look back at the game just from 24 hours earlier. Not even 24 hours earlier. I mean, the game had ended tonight. I mean, it wasn't even
Yep.
24 hours. That was, just a very dominant win after a very important win a night earlier.
And
That's how you
did,
turn everything around.
did you notice for the first time in a long time, the Panthers built up a 2-0 lead and didn't blow it?
Yes, yes.
It's a miracle. The hockey gods are real. It's
I would.
fantastic, man.
I mean, most importantly too, it's worth mentioning. It's been mentioned already plenty of times on Twitter. Loesterainen finally back with the team. He goes ahead. He comes back against Columbus. We really desperately needed Loesterainen back to go ahead and just kind of anchor down that third line. And what does he do? He immediately helps out. He's already a huge component. He means the world to this team. The team needed him back really badly. He just means so much to the depth of this team. He makes that lineup so much deeper. So getting him back was so huge for us. He missed 8 games during his absence. Comes back. I mean, look at that 8-game stretch. We
Yeah.
were worn paper thin, and it showed. I mean, you had 5 out of 6 games where you didn't get a single point. You maybe got 1 point out of that stretch, besides the win. I mean, it was bad.
It
Comes
was
back,
dark times, man.
comes
Dark
back
times.
immediately. You have a 6-4 loss. It's looking like a 6-4 loss. Immediately game where you go ahead and you turn around, bring that one to overtime, win that game in overtime, and the next day you go ahead and completely dominate a team like the New York Islanders. I mean, that is Panthers hockey, and that is really just a weekend the Panthers needed. They really needed that weekend.
They desperately did, man. That's 2 straight victories and 5 out of a possible 6 points over the last 3 games of their homestand. You talking about building momentum? That's how you build momentum, especially since they're getting ready to go on this road trip over to the West Coast. And they're going to need every bit of momentum they can get because they have to take on Utah on the road. Then the next night after that, they got to play against the Colorado Avalanche, back-to-back nights, take a day break, and then go over to Dallas to take on the Stars. And then that Monday night that I assume we will be filming our next episode, they take on oh yes,
Tampa.
our friendly neighbors, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
A game that I am looking into. I mean, there's still a possibility for me to go to. I'm still looking into it, but
Oh,
um, I mean, if we are there, it will be boots on ground. I can't do that. Let's not do that now. We can't give
boots on
hopes
the
up.
ground? RTR?
We we can't give hopes up. We have to play this realistically, and I don't know. I don't know if I will be killed in my sleep if my bank account may just decide to end my life right there if I decide to go to that game. But it is a game we are looking into. But I mean, that's another very important. That's a very important game for us because obviously you have your rivals in Tampa, but that's for the future.
Yep.
We are back to a late night show with the Panthers. The Panthers, the NHL, excuse me. They didn't have the consideration to go ahead and give us a 5 o'clock game on Saturday, so we were stuck with an 8 o'clock start on Saturday, no matter what. Um, and they went ahead and scheduled us for 9 o'clock and 9:30. So we still have a road trip to go as well. When you eventually hit Canada, you have to deal with Winnipeg and Calgary and Edmonton and all that shenanigans. We're
Yeah.
stuck right now with 9 and 9:30, which it's at least not 10, I guess. But
Mhm.
just be aware the Panthers would love to go ahead and bring games to overtime and make you make you late for work.
Absolutely. If they can get 4 points out of the six possible in these next three games, you talking about some momentum. Cats might be cooking with some peanut oil there, as far
I
as the rest
mean,
of the NHL is concerned.
look at the schedule too. I mean, you're facing Dallas and Colorado in that stretch.
Yeah.
You're facing the two best teams in the league.
And if they can
That
manage
is
to go through them with oh God, dude, league's in trouble.
it. I mean, there is a strong chance that we end up only getting two, maybe. I mean, I feel like this game against Utah is going to be um, really important for us because you just need to go ahead and get 2 points out of that start because you don't know what the future looks like if you go ahead and drop three in a row. You especially don't know what it looks like if you go ahead and get past that game against Utah because then you have to deal with Colorado and Dallas on top of it. It is not certain that you get even a point out of that stretch. You're going to try and get two at the minimum, but you have to at least win that game against Utah at the bare minimum on that road trip. You have to win against Utah. Um, you don't want to go ahead and talk about must-win games early on in the season, but in a stretch right now where you're very injured still, and you are still waiting to get guys like a Chuck back and others on top of it, and they're still kind of weeks out, and you just got momentum back on your side. You want to keep the momentum. You want to continue riding that. Come out of this stretch with probably 4 points, and the sky's the limit. You're you are looking, you are feeling like you are on top of the world, and you have conquered and battled through hell to go ahead and get out of that stretch. And then you have to face Tampa, who's caught fire. You got a really tough stretch ahead of you, and there is no better time to go ahead and pick up back-to-back wins that were incredibly dominant than right now because
Hey man, you
it's going to
know,
be tough.
like like Miami Hurricanes legend Malachi Tony says, game ain't based on sympathy. No one's gonna have sympathy for the Panthers if they drop, points or lose these games. They got to go out and take the points. They got to go out and get these wins. And no one's gonna feel sorry for you, so don't feel sorry for the teams when you beat them. Go out and get the job done, and let's get some very crucial points starting with Utah. And I forgot to mention during our recap of the Columbus game, this was the first time in Florida Panthers history that the Panthers won a game after overcoming multi-goal deficits in two different periods of the same game. Like you said, down 3 in the second period, down 2 in the third period, overcame both of them and won in overtime. Just unbelievable. You talking about resilience. That's a team that doesn't quit. That's a coaching staff that keeps their players level headed, and the players themselves keep each other level headed and keep themselves accountable. So I love this team, man. I love this team. I love the way they're playing right now. They just need to get the consistency, and we'll be looking pretty good. You know, I really do believe it.
Well, besides that, there's something else that also happened for the Florida Panthers during the stretch, and it caused one of the players to go ahead and miss some time. But we obviously go ahead and mention the year that Marchand has been having. We mentioned earlier we had a specific episode that was the week of Marchand. Well, we have a different one for this week, and this is the week of Carter Verhaeghe. Because, similar to Brad Marchand, how he kind of started his by, missing a game, kind of wondering where he is. We have zero kind of update on him. He had a kid, and so that was great to hear. Congratulations on Carter Verhaeghe and the Carter Verhaeghe and Verhaeghe's family for adding a new member, obviously. And then you move on. He comes back the next game, and flash forward to now, he's named third star of the week. What a week for Carter Verhaeghe. 4 goals, 1 assist.
Dude, he had a kid and then had an epiphany immediately after. Like, wait a minute. I was already a father. Everyone in the NHL is my son. I remember who I am now. And he started going off. He became prime Gretzky after becoming a father. And that is just absolutely incredible. The performances that he's been putting on since coming back have been nothing short of remarkable. And I am very, very blessed to be able to see this. And I genuinely hope this is not only just a run, but this is the beginning of a long, performance and form of the Carter Verhaeghe we all know and love. This is the Carter Verhaeghe we have been looking forward to seeing this season. And, I just hope that he stays healthy and that he can continue on this path of greatness, especially as everybody starts coming back. So, dude, it's all happening for us. It's all right in front of us right now. Everybody you're starting to see some timetables for people coming back from injury, right on time as, we get E2 back, and everything's happening. It's right in front of us for the taking. We just got to go get it. Just got to go reach out and grab it. You feel me?
I also would hate to go ahead and add on to the already, cancerous stuff that has been going on this weekend with this whole 6-7-4-1 stuff. But Carter Verhaeghe did score his goals 6 and 7 during that game against Columbus, which is, I guess, poetry against me. Darn it, Verhaeghe. Why? He at least could have done he at least could have scored a hat trick and then gone his 8, so you couldn't really do it. But no, you had to actually go ahead. No, you had to do the entire thing, and you had to stop there too.
You got to give the people what they want, Jeremy. The people want 6-7. You got to give them 6-7.
I guess the fans are really happy to see it. I mean, Bennett was happy to see it. Bennett did it.
He sure was. He even did the emote on the post-game interview too.
He did. He did. And unfortunately, the broadcast has been talking about this whole thing for a month now. I mean, they were talking about I can remember a month ago on the broadcast hearing them like, oh, really? It's made its way to Panthers hockey. And then of course, this weekend we have a whole weekend dedicated towards it.
It made its way to Panthers brain rot. If you've seen
yes, it did. It did.
I'm like, how? Like, this is insane. Like, I cannot believe this meme has made it to the Panthers. But hey, ever since it did, we started winning. So maybe let's keep the 6-7 going into 2 points here.
Let's make 2 points the new brain rot thing.
2 points.
We move on to a topic that is a little bit harder to kind of talk about, and that is, as I already kind of touched on once already, Sergei Bobrovsky, another rough week for him. If you even counting the Nashville game, if you go ahead and look towards that, if you just don't even look at that one, you look at the stretch dating back against Edmonton in his past 5 games. 4 goals allowed to Edmonton, 4 goals allowed to Philadelphia, 3 against Toronto. 6 allotted to Columbus. It's rough to say the least. I mean, obviously, the Nashville game was a much better start and one that you are very encouraged for. But that Columbus game, outside of a couple goals that really aren't his fault, there were some that he really should have stopped there, and that could have brought the number down. And maybe probably brought us outside of overtime. We could have won before, but
Absolutely.
it's another stretch from Sergei Bobrovsky where you're really starting to worry about his age and father time really catching up to him, because this has not been the Sergei Bobrovsky that we've seen the last couple seasons. I mean, just look at the last 3 years. 2.37 goals against average the year we first won a cup. 2.44 last year, up to almost 3 this year. It's an 881 save percentage this season. That's not where we need him. That is not where we need him right now. We need him much better than this, and he hasn't been there right now. I'm obviously still going to hold confidence because this is a Hall of Fame we're talking about. This is one of the best goalies of all time. I am not counting him out by any means, and I'm not saying that either that I would not like him extended, because that's a different story. But we have to start looking at the facts, and it is kind of rough.
I
I
agree.
mean, he at least made 31 saves in that game against Columbus, but still, I mean, he gave up 6 goals. That game against Toronto really started off rough. Philadelphia and Edmonton weren't good either. Especially that Edmonton game. That was putrid.
That was brutal with a capital brutal. Terrible, man. Oof.
But it is a tough stretch for Bob. And you need to start seeing some more positive games like that Nashville. You need to start seeing him kind of string along those efforts. Everyone's saying the second half Bob might have to really turn around, and he kind of has before. He did last year. We really hope we kind of see that start coming soon, because if the Panthers do want to go ahead and continue with this momentum, we can't be having these games where we're just giving up 3 goals, 4 goals, 6 every single time. Eventually, you're going to need to keep the puck out of the net, and you're going to need games like last night, like we had from Tarasov. But we're going to need it from more than that. We don't need to have it from our backup. We need it from our starter too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeremy, I could not have said that any better than you did, man. You hit the nail right on the head. Right on the head. He needs to be better. Just point blank period. And he knows that. He knows that. I don't think this is going to rattle him. His teammates are clearly still behind him. I think he is just going to reset and refocus and be better in the net, because he has to. If we're gonna have any chance at making a three-peat, we need him to be able to be the best Sergei Bobrovsky he can be. And he knows that, and we'll see how long it takes for him to become one of the best goaltenders in the league, like we know he can be, and like we know he has the ability to be. So let's see what happens. Do we know if he's getting the nod to start, or are we too far out from the Utah game?
I believe we are a little bit too far out. I have not seen anything from the great Jameson Olive as of right now. I personally have not seen anything. Shout out Jameson Olive, and of course also Doug Plagans too, for also the great Panthers podcast that we know and love.
We gotta get Mr. Olive on the podcast, man. You think he'd show up?
We can always tag him on Twitter and see if they respond.
Yeah, Joel we'll have our people. Joel call his people, and we'll be up.
And when we show up to a Panthers game, just go ahead and try to find them around the arena.
Right.
Try to
Who
go
knows?
ahead.
He might be in our section.
Yeah, get on our podcast. Get on our podcast. Invite us
Yeah,
to your podcast.
we'll You know what? I think this is a good segue into something that we're going to give you guys a little taste of the glory we got coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to give you the whole spiel. We're not going to give you the whole spiel, but we'll give you a nibble of things to come very, very soon with the Rat Trick Report.
Let's start
So
off. I think we should start off first with the fact that we do have a holiday episode planned. So if you guys enjoyed the Thanksgiving one, we have a Christmas one coming on your way. That one will be obviously coming Christmas week. So that's one thing that you guys have to look forward to. So happy holidays, of course, from the Ratchet Report crew, and of course from the Florida Panthers. And of course, we have some other stuff in the works. Um, we enjoyed heavily playing games on the podcast like we did. So in weeks that we don't have necessarily too much news, this week probably would have been a great one for it with the lack of news completely surrounding the league. But of course, the Florida Panthers had the whole 6-7 weekend and decided to turn the entire ship around. So we did have to talk about that. But
we did.
other than that, we also have some other news that as you want to talk about.
Yes. The details are still being worked out between me, Jeremy, and our lovely producer Joel. Um, we're still planning on, maybe getting some some merch out here for this specific thing that we are teasing you about. Um, but in the near future, we are going to do a live episode of the Rat Trick Report very, very soon. Because very soon, Jeremy and I will be in the same place at the same time for the first time ever. And if you can put, One Piece and One Piece together, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. But I will not
Well, we
announce.
will. We will not be spoiling it. However, it will be coming soon. We will have a full announcement soon on what is to come, and hopefully, we can get all this worked out, and we can go ahead and we can have a great and special day to go ahead and kind of celebrate this.
Yes, yes, a very, very great and special day that we will share with all of you. Some of you potentially in IRL. Who knows? Who knows? Dude, they're gonna love this when we announce it. They have no idea.
Absolutely.
They have no
I
idea
mean,
what we're
this is
planning,
big.
man.
This is gonna be. I mean, we obviously we're not saying the entire thing, but I mean, this is gonna be big for the show. If we can get everything that we have planned, then this is really big for the show.
Very big. Like this is big for the entire podcasting universe of the Florida Panthers of hockey. So
This is the biggest thing. This completely blows Panthers versus the world and what we did during that time out of the water. And obviously, we were very small at that time. We're still pretty small right now, but I mean, this is something that we are very excited to have, and we look forward to.
Joel said it's bigger than Endgame, and he's absolutely right. This has the potential to be one of the biggest things that the Heat versus the World podcast network has ever done. And I think personally, I think this is going to take it to new heights that have never been seen before. And it's going to take the podcast and your viewing experience to levels you have never seen before. So I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait, man. It's going to be so much fun. Isn't that right, Jeremy?
I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, I'm counting down the days right now. We got we're counting down the days to eventually that we're eventually meeting up. But I mean, we'll eventually soon enough we'll be able to announce this fully, and then by then we'll everything will be out, and it'll just be a race to the clock to go ahead and make sure everything is out and make sure that we are all planned and ready to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We are handling all logistics and everything. And once we get everything squared away and we have our itinerary set up and everything, we will give you the big reveal as far as our future plans for the Rat Trick Report. And they're going to be fantastic. You guys are going to love it. And it's all for you guys because you guys have been nothing but amazing. Thank you so much for watching every episode as you guys do. Jeremy, I don't really see much in the news across the league. It's a pretty slow day.
It is. It is a slow day. Outside of a few games that are pretty important, like we kind of need a Toronto Tampa game that we kind of need to Hope that Tampa wins because of how far ahead they are compared to everyone else. Besides that, there's really nothing else to really go over.
That's true. That's true. Not much, but hey, 2-2 ain't bad for the week. 2-2 ain't bad. Could be a whole lot worse.
5 points in 8 out of 8 points possible. Not too shabby. We'll take it for what we've had to suffer through last week. I say suffer like we hadn't had to suffer through 10 years of complete and utter destruction of a hockey team. But
this is the new standard, Jeremy. This is suffering now.
When the new standard is all of a sudden Stanley Cup, then it gets a little scary.
It does, especially for us who were in the trenches for so long.
We we had to suffer through Dale Talon. We had to suffer through the real horrors of Panthers hockey, but we made it out and we're able to tell that story and we're able to host a podcast, thankfully.
Heck yeah, man. We're here. And let's go ahead and get some more points. Let's get at least 4 points on these next 3 games and keep this momentum going. But outside of that, not much else in the news across the league. We are going to continue our efforts in getting the arena in Milan fixed and ready to go and in time for Olympic best on best hockey. So until next time, or whenever we get another break.
Wow. I didn't even
look at that. It's already looking better, man. Did you do that construction before we went live?
I didn't even need your help.
He's too good, man. This is why he's my co-host. He's too good.
I'm just that good. Do not look inside. The arena might be shorter than what it should be, but that wasn't my doing. That was because my coordinators did not know how to do logistics correctly and did not calculate for
the metric system and not the imperial system.
As my crew apparently did not, of course, because of my financial situation, I could not afford the best crew. So I just got random guys that didn't exactly make it out of middle school to help me on the crew. So despite the fact that the arena is finished, unfortunately, mathematics really were our shortcomings today. So
hey, well,
you know, 2-on-2 hockey is coming your way.
You'll take the good with the bad, right?
Just know that 2-on-2 hockey is on the way.
2-on-2. 2-on-2. Does that include the goalie?
We unfortunately I don't think can include a goal. So we have a very short arena.
We're playing make it, take it. We got to take it back behind the center line.
They unfortunately only made about half of the ice.
Oof, man! Oh my goodness, it's rough over there. It is rough over there. I think I'm gonna just stay in the airport lobby here in Atlanta. You guys got it, right?
We don't got nothing.
I love how honest he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy, give it up for the man.
Look what I completed.
Well,
and I didn't even need a hard hat.
Well, until next time, or until he finds his hard hat, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching another episode of the Rat Trick Report. I'm Jeremy. He's Justin. He's Jeremy. I'm Justin. 6'7". Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please tell all your friends. Please comment and tell us what you think of the episode. Tell us what you think about the Panthers. Tell us if you have been in a barbecue accident before and how long did it take you to heal, and see, compare it to Eetu Luostarinen. Thank you very much for watching once again. For myself, Jeremy, and our lovely producer, Joel, till next time, go Cats and throw them rats. Woo!